That's going to be another huge washout in the crypto space. But all of these cryptos are going to get blown out of the water. They're all technically securities anyway. The SEC is dragging their feet. You know, we can ask ourselves why Gary Gensler is failing to do his job. Is he doing the bidding of his puppet masters? It looks that way. But eventually, Bitcoin is so beautiful that it will push out these crooks, these charlatans, these captured regulators. You know, there's no point in trying to sugarcoat it. These guys are recidivist criminal scumbags, and you know they deserve to be in prison. The fact that they're not in prison is a shame. Really, it shows that the justice system in America is broken down. But I think that's pretty obvious across the spectrum. You know, we see this all the time. Now that we have a big burst of inflation, it makes sense for Bitcoin to pull back and retrace some of the gains and build a new base and then catapult up to 200,000-300,000 a coin as the world starts to figure out that there's very few places to hide. As a matter of fact, I would say the only place to hide is Bitcoin. And as a result, we are now in a new era, which is a multi-year secular, inflationary, commodity-driven global economy where money printing and the central banks become increasingly more powerless. Gold has a problem with price discovery we've discussed before. Bitcoin, the price is off its highs, but you know, I think of it like this. When it was at 70,000 a coin, it was telegraphing the hyperinflation to come. You know, markets are discounting mechanisms. The Raoul Pal and Mike Novogratz and a few others are kind of at the center of this latest wave of bubble and scams that have come into so-called crypto space, and the asset class that is Bitcoin is kind of shrugging it off, and it's not really having an impact on Bitcoin at all, really. You know, like it used to in days gone by. Some of these major scams, like OneCoin was from a few years ago, and others, they had more of an impact on the price of Bitcoin. And I, you know, what boils my blood is that rejects from Wall Street, like Mike Novogratz, who was kind of a hedge fund reject. He fucked up his hedge fund. He walked away from the industry for a couple of years and saw an opportunity to recreate all the scammy shit he was doing on Wall Street in crypto. Raoul Pal is another Wall Street reject. I guess he wasn't given a partnership option, so he kind of went away and crawled into a cave for a while and saw an opportunity come into Bitcoin. You know, Bitcoin is both the greatest and the worst industry in the world. It attracts the worst people in the world. It also attracts the greatest people in the world. And it's this dynamic that we call price discovery. It's, you know, the price is reflective of the fact that you've got the smartest and greatest and noblest people in the world working on Bitcoin. You've also got the shittiest, worst, morally bankrupt scumbags in the industry as well. When you put them all together, you get a current price, which is whatever it is right now. I don't think there is another chapter to it. I think the Fed goes bankrupt. I think the U.S. goes bankrupt, and I think that that's what we're looking at. And I think this is why there's a lot of countries are beating the war drum right now. There's a lot of saber rattling going on, and the U.S. now is going to open up another front against China, as well as a proxy war in Ukraine against Russia. So this is the end of empire stuff, Greg. Yeah. This is like America's had the world reserve currency for 100 years. It's had a great run, but it looks like this could, another 5 years, the U.S. could be pretty much finished.